attention. What was the key highlight from your breakout section? If you're online, you can leave a comment in the chat box. People people physically. What happened? Your facilitators did not. They were speaking in tongues. So, what was the highlight for you in your breakout session? In your group, or maybe I'll just walk up to someone. So people are looking at it. It's not jump. Don't worry. Okay. Yeah, so people online are coming back now. If you're joining us online, please leave a comment in the chat box about your experience in your breakout room. So those of us physically, so if you just let us know the group that you were in and the highlights of the breakout session for you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So I was in the advanced class. So even though I came in late for the breakout session, but one of the highlights that I captured during the section was the fact that as an individual, as a business owner, you must hold in high esteem mentorship. So mentorship is very, very important if you want to grow in any industry or in any niche that you find yourself. And also we spoke about accountability as well. So, and we're made to understand that accountability have to do with vulnerability. So if you cannot be vulnerable, there's no way you need someone that you can be accountable to. So if you want to be vulnerable, then look for someone that you can be accountable to, that can guide you through life. And Apostle was also it was making some highlights on the fact that you need mentorship. You must be ready to lay down yourself. You should be ready to humble yourself. You shouldn't just see the person that is mentoring you as just a kind of person. You know, you must humble yourself enough to grow with the person. All right. And he also made mention of how you should identify the person who you should mentor. So there are so many persons. He made some examples how so many persons will see him and say, okay, come and mentor me and all that. And at the end of the day, the person is not serious. So mentorship is all about you availing yourself to that person that want to mentor you, and you pay attention to every of his details. You follow him to the latter, so that you can enjoy the grace that he's also carrying. So I think that is one of the highlights I captured in my session.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Please let's put our hands together for him. So for the sake of inclusion, we're going to ask a woman in the emerging group what her highlights from her breakout session was.
Silly girl, what's your woman?
Sorry, okay. Female.
Okay, so several things actually. I took notes. I'll just go with my notes. The first thing for me that is thinking about who you represent. So thinking beyond yourself and who you. So whenever you show up, wherever you show up, and this, the context of the workplace or the context of what we do as per jobs and so on, that we're not just there for us, right? We're there to represent someone. So who's that person? God, right? So therefore, have competence, do your work well, be excellent, show up and do the things you need to do. Then the other thing that stuck out to me was your motive. We talked about our leader spoke about when you pray that you use the example of when you're asking God for 1 billion naira. That's what are you going to use the 1 billion naira for? That maybe the first 200 million go to you getting a house, next 100 million you buy 2 cars or something like that. Like, see, the money has already finished on yourself, on your own, what you want to do and what you want, the exact personal needs. Where is God in that agenda, right? So what is your motive? Question your motives, basically. Check your why, basically. The final one I'll go with is reading the word. So I think it's like so this is me adding my own in a sense. Like sometimes like a checklist thing for most people. Let me just do this thing because I'm a Christian. I'm supposed to read the word, but no, it's actually your lifeline. Like it's to actually give life to what you do, give meaning to your purpose and all of that. Make sense of what you're doing. To actually feed you and help you go along the journey and have an anchor, basically, which is the word to guide you through. Yeah.
Fantastic. Please let's put our hands together for her. Okay, so now we're going to go on a quick lunch break and networking section. The goal is that we'll be back by 3 p.m. and then 3:30, sorry. And then we have Apostle Ayuba again. And hopefully we'll still have some more time for Q&A sessions and to share what we're learning. So I'm going to give the mic to my MC to direct us on how we're doing the lunch.
Okay, thank you so much, MC. And please a round of applause again, for the people who spoke from the breakout session. I think I was in one breakout, but online, we have not heard from anyone for online. Okay. So online, do you elect that your facilitator speak on your behalf? So I think I get a yes, even though I've not heard any of them speak. Then there's the second. So which group is this online? Advanced group. Okay, so while that is going on, for the people in the hall, we can just invite you quietly to start taking lunch. Yes.
Okay, so just so that we're orderly and we can do it as quickly as possible, we want to invite our pastors and guest speakers to please go to the table first, and then but please remain seated. If not, and then we can just direct you to the table. So please, our pastors and guest speakers, if you can please go to the table first, and then the rest of us will be directed accordingly. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So which group is this online? Advanced. Okay, so after him, we would also take someone from the intermediate group as well to also give us while we just keep doing lunch. So please.
Thank you. For those of us on the group online, we discussed the areas of weakness that we found. One reason for poor devotion is the poor devotion is lack of structure and discipline. I mean, having sufficient structure for family daily devotion, and then lack of submission to authority or peer mentorship was due to past hurts and past experiences. And we agreed that one needs healing. We need to pursue healing, because if you're not healed sufficiently, you cannot open yourself up to others to contribute. And then our poor evangelism in the workplace is due to the fact that we're not deliberate about doing that and about opening ourselves up to others. And giving, we give, but we don't give structured enough. Our giving is not properly structured, so there's need to be a little bit more deliberate in a way that is still led by the Holy Spirit. On budgeting for giving, we made it clear that why it is good to give and plan to give, we should not give emotionally, because once you are disposed to giving on a regular, there's also the risk of giving emotionally, because you might support the wrong things. Then there's the issue of being aware of other platforms through which we can also give. That is important. We need to engage either to create these platforms or to find them so that we can leverage them to give. A question was asked on the oil and gas sector with respect to management of the environment. I will say we're going to discuss here. Essentially, the question is, if God is environment conscious, if God wants us to keep the earth in a perfect form or in an ideal form, what do we say about mining operations that do not respect some of this? Again, it is the unrenewed mind at work, and the unrenewed mind that does not care sufficiently for the environment would, of course, waste an opportunity to do something beautiful. Now, the point I'm making is that it is possible to mine oil and gas or rare earth minerals in a sustainable manner, but it is just more expensive to do. And then sometimes it may not even be the cost. It might just be that we are not deliberate enough to figure out a sustainable model for doing that. So perhaps It can be a point of burden for someone to say, God, grant me grace to be in that kind of business where we can forego profits or forego some level of profit just to do something really good. Or God, give me grace to be a regulator where I can force the for-profit firms to do things right. So either way, the goal is achieved. So we must have Bamites, if I will use the word, who are in places of authority, either in business leadership or in regulatory oversight to achieve this. But it can be done. And some countries have done a fantastic job of doing that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I believe the facilitator of the second online group was Dr. Dami. Dr. Dami, am I right? Were you the facilitator of the, or who was? Somebody from the, oh, Tafa, okay. So we want someone from the intermediate online group to just give us a few tips about what you did online. And for the online audience, like we always say, next year, try to be a person. What is happening in the hall now? I wish you could see it. But something really powerful is going down currently in the hall. But you can go to, maybe order something online and send the invoice to Octoville. So I think that also should be covered. So online, is anyone from the intermediate group online who would like to give us a tip as to what you discussed on the intermediate group? Anybody online, please. We would want one person at least to give us tips of what you discussed online. Of course, remember for people online and in-house, by 5:30, we are starting our we'll be starting with 3:30. Sorry, 3:30 we'll be starting. Okay, yeah, thank you, Alexandra. Yeah, thank you. So who wants to speak from the second group, the intermediate group online? We would like to just hear the high points of your discussion. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, we just want to get. Okay, so Chidima or David, your facilitator has singled you out. So David or Chidima, one of you would have to bail out the intermediate group.
Okay.
Okay, or anybody wants to talk, but Chidima and David, you have been. So David, yes, please carry on. Yes.
My name is David. Can you hear me? Okay, so all right. So it was an insightful time with Dr. Tafa. One of the things that he placed emphasis on something again, which is the need for capacity building, right? We going over again on these sessions, every of these sessions, and then he made emphasis on the fact that there are certain things that you don't listen once. You may think you've absorbed them, you understood them, but you need to go over again. He even mentioned like 5 times at least. He said that's how you suck in knowledge and take in knowledge, and that's how you actually become. Becoming doesn't just happen. One other thing that really stood out for me was a question that someone asked, which I actually gained a lot from that question. I really love the way he answered that question. So the person asked, and about the fact that how do you cope in a situation where there is a burden or there is something that God has placed in your heart. You've discovered your sphere of influence. You know where you're supposed to operate in, and this is what God has called you to do. But you know that area for a period of time you may not profit from it in terms of having monetary rewards at the initial stage. So how do you cope? Because she was like, that question came, she was like, she was practical. She said she's having currently to do 2 jobs because now she has to actually pay her bills. So aside from doing what God has called her to do, she also has to pay her bills. And she spoke about the fact that she has heard of mindset and the school of thought that sometimes your passion may not be able to fund your lifestyle, may not be able to pay you. So sometimes you have to focus on what will pay you before you're able to, so that you can build capital to fund your passion. And then he answered the question in the most profound way I have actually heard, in my life. I've not seen it from that dimension. So he talked about the fact that it is possible that she doesn't necessarily have to do two jobs, right? In order to thrive in that situation, that you can actually narrow in on an area or an aspect of that same industry that God has called you in, but not an area that has too much depth, that is so deep. You can narrow in on somewhere that is not so much of a deep, area where you don't need so much energy and so much focus to be productive. So for instance, say he gave an example, say for instance in HR, right? You are in the HR sector, and then you know that okay, this is where God has called you to be, and then you are not getting so much reward financially from that aspect and all that. And you can narrow in on something you know that is in line with HR, but not that you are going into another entirely different niche that is also deep, because he talked about how that one of the things it takes to build depth is focus. You need enough focus as possible. You need as much focus as you can get. So you can't be putting your focus on two different industries that are as deep as a well. He used the scenario of a well and all that to explain and all that. And I found that very profound and all that. So that means I can be in an industry, right? I know that I'm actually paying my dues. I'm trying to build myself. I'm building track record. I know that the focus is not money, but then in order to um also be able to thrive financially, I can narrow in on another aspect of that same industry to make money, not necessarily going outside to go and, do another job that will demand so much, focus and all of that. So that really stood out for me, and it was a great time. And I myself, I asked him about, how we can get access to his materials. I really want to have access to Dr. Tafa's materials, Mr. Nelson's materials, because I believe they should be on mainstream and not just, I really want to have access to that. A platform that can build that capacity that he's talking about, a system where that capacity can be built, because I want to be part of it. So that's actually what I benefited from our session. It was a great time. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I can't even hear you.
Yeah, sorry, David, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
so I was asking, where are you joining us from this afternoon?
Okay, I'm joining from Abuja.
Okay, I'm joining from
Actually in Abuja.
Oh, from Abuja. So please, next time, try and be with us in the hall, because what is happening in the hall now, like I mentioned earlier, is not so. Of course, in December, we
Yeah.
are going to be back here.
Yeah.
So this is just to thank you for your contribution and to encourage you. In December, please ensure you join us
I will.
in person. So we are going to have a brief interlude. Would pick up again by 5:30. For those of you online, please stay tuned. We would have a very powerful ministration interlude to just tide us over. By 5:30. We will pick up again. We'll be having Apostle Samson Ayuba take us on part 2 of the message.
5:30 or 3:30.
Earlier.
5:30 or 3:30.
3:30. Sorry, I keep saying 5:30. My apologies. 3:30, please. My apologies. I keep saying 5:30. 3:30 will be starting with Apostle Samson Ayuba, and then by 5 o'clock we'll be having Architect Wole Oyebanji. So please, for those online, just stay tuned, and we'll pick up again by 3:30. Thank you.
Still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense, and everything around me is shaking. I've never been more glad that I've built my life on Jesus. He'll never let me down. Faithful through every season. And I won't be let down. He won't fail. He won't fail. He won't fail. I enter the holies of holies. I enter to honor. I enter to worship you, holy. I enter to honor. I am, 'cause Lord, I worship you. I worship you for your days only. Holy Lord, for your daily Lord, you created my eyes. I want to see your face. You created my ears. I want to hear your heart. Yeah. You molded my mind. I want to hear you speak to me. Lord, I want to know that you are close. I want to know that you are close. I know he loves me. I know he cares. Whenever I call, he always be right there. He's my help, and I'm in need. Yeah, he really does what he says he will do. My God really moves. So yeah, I do a friend. My God really moves. So yeah, he really does what he says he will do. My God really moves. So yeah, why do I fret when he always comes through? My God really moves. So oh, my, you always in time. You can't do no wrong. Mama, you leave the 99, always for the one. Oh, Mama, you always in time. You can't do no wrong. Oh, Mama, you leave the 99, always for one. Oh, man, you always in time. You can do no wrong. Yeah, man, yeah. You leave the 99, always forward, always forward. Colossal and allegiance. Since I took a glance, I've been stuck on you. But still, water, you show your continence. That's spirit, oh, I'm latching on to you. I, for one, oh, I'm surrounded. Pull me from the deepest, pull me close to you. Dark still done, you leave me enchanted. My heart is an address, so it resides with you. I, for one, oh, I'm surrounded. Pull me from the deepest, pull me close to you. Dark still done, you leave me enchanted. My heart is an address, so we side with you. None in this life, be da, be da, be da, be da, be da, oh. How wonderful, how beautiful to be loved by you, to be loved by you. Cannot deny, be da, be da, be da, be da, yeah. Be da, oh, how wonderful, how beautiful to be loved by you, to be loved by you. Ooh, yeah. Be quiet. Every voice, you are not heathen. There's never been a moment that you were forgotten. You were not hopeless. And though you've been broken, your innocent stolen, I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear you whisper you have nothing left. Oh, I will send out an army to fight you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true. Oh, I will.